So when it comes to the UK, things are getting pretty bad. Like, you must admit, as the weeks go on, it really does seem harder and harder to pull back from. But what I've done for you today, I've put a list together of the worst articles of the entire month. Because you're about to see articles such as the BBC making stupid decisions, migrants being given free PlayStations, as well as shoplifting that we've never seen before. So all you gotta do is just sit there and chill. And I can assure you it's gonna get worse as we go on. But like always, we started the month off with a pretty strange one. Because we got the BBC, right? And they're talking about the license fee and how they want it to be extended to Netflix users. Like, you imagine that. They're not even watching live TV or like anything that the BBC's created. But even then, apparently the BBC just want their money. Completely just going against everything that the license fee is actually there for. Like, it's not there for Netflix. And to be fair, it shouldn't even be there for the BBC. Then the very next day, we saw this article here, where Bristol Council want to collect the general waste bin every 3 to 4 weeks. And that's just not going to work, is it? Like, throughout the entire year, it's just awful. But you imagine in the summer, like 1 month of just being in the bin. Whether it's milk, yogurt, eggs, chicken, like, awful. Like, it's just going to get animals and foxes in it. It's just awful. And I wouldn't be surprised, right, if the bins start to get that bad, that the bin men just end up refusing them. You know, if you put paper in the general waste, they'll refuse that. I'm pretty sure if it was, like, overflowing with, like, gunk, I don't think they'd be taking that. But whilst the streets are falling apart, it looks like it's the same in the shops as well. Because we saw that shoplifting has surged to a record high, with 500,000 crimes reported in 1 year. And what I said in the video, and what a lot of people agreed with in the comments, is that this is just the reported crimes. Like, can you imagine, like, I'm saying double. Some people were saying quadruple. You know, could be up to 2 million shoplifting cases a year. But they just don't get reported, so they're just not on these figures. Then the very next day, we saw this from the NHS. It was a Freedom of Information request, and they said, I would like you to please rank your 20 most requested languages for interpreting or translation in 2024. And as you can see on screen here, it is just an absolute pile of languages, isn't it? Because we got Arabic, we got Sorani Kurdish, Farsi, Polish and Bengali. And below that we got Spanish and Mandarin. And like it says here on the tweet, if you're not following me on Twitter, I would highly recommend to do so. But like it says on the tweet, we're spending millions on translation, while British people are struggling to see a GP. Because make no mistake, right, this is going to cost a lot of money. And it's only in Wales as well. You imagine what it's like for the rest of the UK. Actually, to be fair, it's probably a lot like this next story. Because it says that councils have been spending taxpayer money on PlayStations for asylum seekers. Like, that really is as bad as it sounds. Because this would have been a conspiracy theory a couple of years ago. You know, if you'd have said to people you work with or people you know that migrants are being given free PlayStations, nobody would have believed you. They'd have called you crazy. But here we are in 2025, and they're getting PlayStations as well as yoga and circus classes and DJ lessons. I gotta tell you, it's kind of like they've just quite literally come here on holiday, isn't it? But instead of paying, they're just getting it all for free. And if you thought that we were running out of bad stories, this is just the start of the video. So honestly, like I said, it's about to get far worse. Because this freedom of information, the amount of stuff you can find online, it is unbelievable. Because it says how many equality and diversity posts of uniformed and non-uniformed are employed in West Yorkshire Police. Because on this FOI request, they do give a lot of details. You can see we got the head of diversity, equality and inclusion at almost £92,000 a year. And I'm not going to read through the whole list, right? But that is over £1 million. And that's just West Yorkshire Police as well. Like, not the biggest region in the UK, but they're spending over £1 million on diversity, equality and inclusion managers. And they're trying to tell you that they've run out of cash. But then again, I mean, whilst we're on the subject of cash, we saw this quality article here, because it says that Scottish-made fire engines have been chosen to modernise Iraq. Because yes, you might be sat there in a village, which is on the cusp of having its fire station removed. Or you might be in a town where it's going to take them 25 minutes to respond. But whilst things fall apart in the UK, Iraq, well, apparently it's all perfect in Iraq. Because it really is crazy. And I don't think they're going to go for this fire engine in the image. Like that one there with the flag on it. If they could send that, like, I don't know, send one. Send that. That'd be hilarious, wouldn't it? Just send that one. I'd probably go for that. And speaking of Iraq, the very next day we saw this chart here. And I got to I'm really into charts and tables. But this one here, this is very interesting. Because you can see you got the Monday through to Sunday. And it's for the small boat arrivals by the day of the week. And you can see here we've got Saturday and Sunday. Like the country might shut down. You might not be able to go to Tesco past 4 p.m. But when it comes to Sudanese Steve on his dinghy, apparently the weekend is the time to do it. And I'm guessing it's to do with like the police numbers, like the amount of border force and patrol boats that there's going to be. I'm guessing it has something to do with that. You know, these migrants aren't working a day job. You know, it's not like they've got anything to do. They're just going to sit there and just wait. But for some reason, your guess is as good as mine, they apparently wait for the weekend. But whilst those people are trying to come in illegally, it turns out that, I don't want to say it, but I think the real problem could be legal migration. Because at the end of the day, right, wherever these people come from, our identity is going through some changes. Because you can see since 2021, we've had over 1 million people from India, as well as 500,000 people from Nigeria, as well as almost 300,000 Pakistan Petes, not to mention 63,000 Sri Lankan Simons. And all these people came in legally. You know, there was no trouble at the border or anything like that. They just came on in. And also as well, when you compare these to the illegal migration numbers, these are absolutely speeding forward. But whilst we've got problems at the border, we've also got problems inside the UK as well. Because as you can see here, this is the Tesco Security Operations Centre. And that really does show you just how far that things have gone. Like back in the day, they didn't really have security guards. Now they've got one by the door as you go in. But in the modern day, even that's not enough. Now they need a security operations centre. Like to just watch you as you shop 24/7. And I found these images on LinkedIn as well. And still to this day, I have not seen these online anywhere else. Which I gotta tell you, that is definitely a reason to subscribe. Because the very next day, we also saw these images too. Which again, you're not going to find anywhere else. It's from the British Heart Foundation in Hemel Hempstead. And as you can see there, they've written the sign in Urdu. But luckily, because, let's face it, none of us here speak this language. So we can translate. It says, "Thank you to our customers for your continuous support. You are the reason for our success, and together we will continue to achieve more." And there's just no reason for it to be written in this language. It just makes no sense. But let's face it, as time goes on, things like this are just going to become more common. I'm sure you yourself have seen examples of signs like this, whether it's on Twitter or in real life. But something that, honestly, when I first saw this headline, I didn't think it was real. I thought someone was joking. But it is absolutely true. And it says that Scotland is reintroducing wolves and it could help climate change. And it worked out to 167 wolves that they're introducing. Makes even less sense than the sign from Hemel Hempstead. Reintroducing wolves. I said in the video at the time, why stop at wolves? Let's do jaguars and tigers as well. And while we're at it, let's just put sharks around the coast of the UK. Many years I've been doing this now. 3 years. This has got to be one of the worst articles I've ever seen. And they were saying in the article that the wolves would control the deer population. But again, there's got to be a better way to do it. Because these wolves, 167 this year, next year 300, then 600, it's just going to multiply after that. And then before you know it, they've got a wolf situation. And they're like, "Oh, I didn't know this would happen." They've reintroduced wolves. What do they think is going to happen? Start hearing howling at midnight, you know? And then the day after that, right, we saw that Greater Manchester have been told to pay back £22 million after their clean air zone was scrapped. And I'll put it up on the screen, right, but you wouldn't believe, in fact, let me get it. Here we go, I've got the screenshot here now, I'll put it up on screen. It said that this includes around 375, get this right, this is unbelievable, £375,000 a month, which is being spent on 462 ANPR cameras. And obviously speaking, right, that's almost £1,000 per month per camera. That is absolutely unbelievable. Because it's already installed. In fact, like it says there, it actually uses that word, installed. It's not like it's the plan, they're already in. But they're still going to charge us almost £1,000 a month. Like, to what? To look at them. Actually, no, having said that, they're automatic. I'm losing I'm losing my mind here, fellas. They're automatic. Oh my God. They're automatic. Why are they spending I got my hands on my face here now. I can't believe it. This has just hit me like a brick. They're automatic. Oh my life. Why on earth would they spend almost £1,000 a month on something that is allegedly automatic? I didn't put that together when I did the video. That is unbelievable. Oh. And one thing to remember, right, is that it's easy for people to just say, oh, it's just one article. You tell them something from this video and they'll say, oh, calm down. It's just one thing. But when you put it all together like this, it really puts it into perspective. And if you enjoyed watching this video and if you felt that you got value, the best thing that you can do is subscribe. Because I got to tell you, it is going to take me some time to get over that one. £375,000 a month on automatic. Honestly, I don't know if that's got you like that's got me, but that is unbelievable. As well as wolves. So if you enjoyed this video, then make sure that you become one of the 60,325 subscribers.
This country has gone crazy.